Good morning, everybody. It's April 8th or 9th, and I think it's the 8th, but I know it's 2025. Bear with me. Hope you enjoy. I really hope you bear with me, and I hope you enjoy. We're working with what we're working with. Can you guess what that is? Previously, which is a word that I want. There's a lot of, what we have in the United States of America is so great. And so we talk about social studies and math, science, English, all on an elementary level in this little workshop that I do online on YouTube, which is just, to paint daffodils in springtime this morning. And not only daffodils, because what we also want to do is recognize the joy of sports, which I always loved and respected, but was never good at when I was a kid. I was always the last one to be picked on the team for the team. I remember once, well, I better not go into my old war stories about that. Okay, so let's say you want to draw. Practice, just use your brush and practice drawing things that you love to do. You might love to do science. You might love to do sports. You might love to garden and learn botany and science. I can't guess what you would love to do, so I just draw what I hope some of the kids in the audience and the young adults and the people of all ages enjoy in the springtime. Okay, so with the things that we just drew, what we've done is we've set up a really difficult contrast to try to have to cope with, having to do with blending and fading. But we can do it. And I will say this, when I was a young person, I hate to use the word kid. I mean, you can't say anything. It's never, that's why I do art, because it's not about talking. It's about images. Okay, so let's say you want to do a daffodil. And if I had just left that daffodil and had done a bunch of flowers all over the paper, I could have made it work a lot quicker, but I wanted to give myself a task, something that wasn't easy, but that needed to be done. That's what I call a task. So if you've heard the song, or maybe you haven't, just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, the medicine go down. The medicine go down. And what that song is, it's from Mary Poppins, the movie. And what that means is, you might say that the spoonful of sugar is just drawing the yellow flower. That was sugar, because it's just easy and fun. You just take the yellow and draw a flower, just like you were drawing a flower with a pen or a pencil. And so I would draw those flowers. Now what I want to do is make a pattern. So if I make a pattern, that means I want to draw all the way coming around. This time, what I'm going to draw is, let me just not tell you what I'm going to draw. Let me just draw it. Okay, so okay, so now we got a brush, a hand painting a picture of a flower and a football, almost like it's a higher intelligence that's contemplating. And I'm going to use big words. You can learn these words. If you don't know them, learn them. I can't stop and tell you what they all mean every 5 minutes. There's a higher power of intelligence, you might say, contemplating the difference between sports or activity, human activity, which is represented by the football, and God's beauty or nature. Okay, so now we're working on blending and fading. We're not using the most expensive of watercolors, but they are sufficient. I've had it where they blend and you know what? Let me shut up, because really I haven't worked in watercolor for so long that it's not. I'm just happy to be working in something that has an absorbent. We have an absorbent paper that we got at our favorite art supply store, and I enjoy not ordering. I enjoy physically going to the art supply store. I'm not saying that's the only way to do. I'm just saying that's what I enjoy. And we're blending and fading to the point where, see how wonderful watercolor paper can be with the right paints and the right colors. The watercolors are water-based, transparent, and made to be blended into the paper. So the medium, which is what we call, for instance, if I work in oil, it's called a medium. You know what? Let me just try not to be so complex. I wanted to put another pedal there, and sometimes it's better to be simple at first, and then if you want to get complex, a lot of times a painting will develop itself and become more complex. If you try to make it complex, it can look contrived, and contrived, I guess, it's just a word. I had a teacher, really difficult, unpleasant towards me teacher. He had some of the other students actually made it big in visual arts, even, which is it's like so hard to make it big in visual arts. It's harder to make it big in visual arts than it is in music, and even in acting, which is difficult. I had acting classes at the same conservatory. Okay, so you see what we're doing. We're developing now what we have. We surrounded the daffodil with green, so now we can afford to come back in and paint a little bit of yellow. Now, I've run over time because these videos that I do never supersede or exceed, rather, the word is exceed, E-X-C-E-E-D, exceed, vocabulary word for the day if you want. There's so many. I wanted to get involved with one more thing before I stop, which is to take my red watercolor, squeeze a sufficient amount. Another vocabulary, they're just all over the place. Squeeze a sufficient amount on my palette, which I've showed you in previous videos. I can't do everything at once. If I take the phone up and show you my palette, I would have to just say, oh, let me cut off and do another video, but I really want you to see. Now, this is a very large version of what you can do with a much smaller brush, which is make a couple of berries. Look how I do it. Okay? Everybody say, okay. If that's the way you must be, okay. But wait, what do I see? There's berries on TV. Everybody have a great rest of the day. It's April 8th, 2025. And it's Tuesday. Do you know how to say the days of the week in Spanish and French as well as English? I don't either. I can tell you that Sunday is Domingo, and that's all I'm going to tell you right now. The next video, we'll talk about that. I would say that, do you know how to count to 4 in Chinese? Musical language Mandarin. I don't know anything much about Cantonese. I really don't. I know less about Cantonese, very little about Mandarin, except ni hao ma. I'm probably saying everything wrong, which means, hi, how you doing? Something like that. It's a greeting in Mandarin Chinese. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.